Alola Pokemon trainers, this is GatorEX and today we're going to be talking about how to create our own monster. Well, pocket monster. That's right, for today's Spooktober video we're going to be looking at Pokemon that have been created either by humans or by means not natural, by like legendary Pokemon or anything like that. First, we're going to be talking about the most recently revealed Pokemon, Type Null, and its evolution, Silvally. On the Pokemon website, it's stated that its hind legs and front legs are obviously different and that it was put together from different parts of other Pokemon or other beings. This one seems very similar to Frankenstein's monster and in reality isn't too far-fetched. You definitely can graft different body parts onto a being, but it does kind of require them to be alive already, so Frankenstein kind of doesn't fit that, but who knows, Type Null could have been created from something that was already alive and had different parts grafted onto it in order to make it a little better. There is a current theory going on that it was created through alchemy, which is completely possible. At the very least, if you piece together Type Null Frankenstein style, then you'd need something to bring it to life to kind of give it a spirit, so alchemy would work in that sense, probably. With Silvally, we also know that it has a drive in its head which allows it to change type using the RKS system, so it's very likely that the robotics and the technology part of Silvally kind of helps keep it together and helps it to stay alive and emphasizes that it was created by people. Next up is Grimer and Muck. Now these Pokemon were created by sludge somehow changing and becoming alive. Some Pokedex entries state that it has settled, some state that it came from the floor of the ocean, and some say that it was created when sludge was exposed to X-rays from the moon. What? The point is that somehow these Pokemon were created by sludge becoming sentient, and we see that its Alolan cousin has mutated even further to become an acid trip with teeth. Now onto the Porygon line. Porygon originally states that it was programmed and created entirely out of code. Now obviously code somehow becoming a physical Pokemon is pretty far-fetched, but at the very least, maybe we can say that it was 3D printed after being programmed, or actually has a physical robotic body built and it was programmed. It functions in a way similar to other robots, but for some reason Porygon itself isn't stated to be a robot. Again, it is programmed to only perform what it is programmed to do, but in Porygon 2 being its evolution or upgrade, it states that it does have AI, so again contributing to the fact that it is some sort of robot. And then of course Porygon Z being the final upgrade, which is somewhat glitchy. However, the main mind or soul of this Pokemon in reality is its code that was created and programmed by humans. Now on to everyone's favorite, Mewtwo. Mewtwo was cloned from a fossil of a Mew, and if you go by the movie, it shows that they pretty much take what seems like a Mew eyelash and create an entire Pokemon out of that, probably using only human DNA to fill in some things, maybe DNA from other Pokemon as well. Now, in real life, to clone something, you do need an existing relative that is genetically similar to what you are cloning, as well as a more stable sample of what you are cloning. For example, if you want to clone your favorite sheep, you would need a lot of genetic material from that sheep, create an embryo, and then implant that embryo into a female sheep that would eventually give birth to a sheep that is genetically similar to your favorite one. However, in the games, we actually do see that the scientists who made Mewtwo did actually have a physical Mew that gave birth to Mewtwo. Of course, Mewtwo's genes were altered during the embryonic state, which made Mewtwo as powerful as it is now, but the basic concept of cloning still remains. Then comes Trubbish and Garbodor. Now both of these Pokemon were created in a way kind of similar to Grimer, except without the crazy X-rays. Trubbish is stated to be garbage and industrial waste that changed due to a chemical reaction. While I don't understand how this creates life exactly, at least it's a little more grounded than Grimer. Friggin' X-rays my ass. Then comes Golett and Golurk. Now these Pokemon are stated to have been created by an ancient civilization and meant to be guardians and protectors. Now both of these Pokemon are similar in concept to the legends of the Golem. The Golem was said to have been created from clay plus some other rituals and magic in order to serve as a protector. And of course we see this as Golett has a 5% chance of holding the light clay, which is a nice nod to the legends. Then comes Genesect, which is said to have been an ancient Pokemon modified by Team Plasma. Very likely Genesect was created with cloning similar to Mewtwo. Also, the fact that it has a cannon on its back, is steel type, and takes drives to change its Technoblast move shows that it could also be the result of robotics. And lastly is Magearna. Magearna is very mechanical in design as well, however it is stated that the real essence of this Pokemon is in the Soul Heart, which was created from life energy and allows Magearna to perceive emotions. Back in one of my first theories, I did state that this Pokemon was likely created through alchemy back before everyone jumped on the alchemy hype train, so that's very likely how this emotional fairy-type Pokemon was able to manifest itself through this mechanical shell. Anyway, I guess that's all for Pokemon that have been either created by humans or by other means, you know, just as long as they're not Regigigas or Arceus. Let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Also, let me know if I missed any Pokemon. Obviously, going through nearly 800 at this point to find out which ones weren't created by Arceus or Regigigas or anything like that was kind of difficult. Of course, I didn't talk about fossilized Pokemon, but for the most part, we can assume that it's probably the same method as Mewtwo, with cloning. Although how that scientist gets your Pokemon restored so quickly, I will never understand. Also, remember to leave a like to show your support, and if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do that. And for both of you who are subscribed and are not, remember to enable notifications, because I know YouTube has been having some problems with its subscription boxes lately, so enabling notifications would just be a great way for you to know when I upload a new video. Anyway, this has been GatorEX. Have a nice day.